Aquarius. Yes! This is your time, man. This is your time, man. The Aquarius, new moon is all about you. It's all about you trying to craft a new persona. It's all about you trying to have this new beginning, this fresh start, to go on a different type of path. And it's all dependent on your own decision. We have the sun, the moon, Mercury, and Pluto all in your sign, which means that you the boss. You make all the calls. You make all the plays. You're the one who cancels. You're the one who approves. You have the power at this time for the collective around you as well as yourself when it comes to your groups as well as your online presence. You've got the power. Now your current everyday ruling planet is Uranus and Taurus right now, and it's retrograde right now. So you still have some time to think about how that goes, you know, before it turns retrograde the next day on January the 30th. You know, you've got 30 minutes. Mars retrograde is sextiling Uranus retrograde, and that's happening in your area of life, of your everyday, in your home life. So I know that you want some passionate new type of changes when it comes to your home, in your daily life. I don't know if you're making a makeover, or if you're planning to move, or what's happening and what's going on, but you want to feel good about yourself, and you want to start that as an everyday routine, wherever that is. I need to stop biting my tongue. And I see that around this time that you're repairing your self-worth and your self-value, and you're actually making your money. So that's good for you. You're going to make a lot of money during this time with this Aquarius new moon. It's also going to trigger a lot of wounds as well. Wounds around your health and your mindset. Because you see this bad boy right here, this head, this mind is what determines how your health goes, how you value yourself, how you are to market yourself, and how you're going to Mercury conjuncting Pluto at 1 degree, both in the sign of Aquarius. We're going to be having these intense conversations, you know, the conversations that you normally don't have in an elevator. You know, the ones that you get in deep discussion with in your colleges, or when you're in the midst of an argument with someone you love, your spouse, your bestie, or maybe when it's a workplace and it's after hours because you're working late on a project and you're like, dude, I'm sharing this experience with you and you're making my life hell. Those type of conversations. It's going to be a lot of intensity when it comes to us talking to each other, when it comes to communicating with society at large, the collective at large. So if you're like on social media, you could be on here, YouTube, you could be on TikTok, you could be on Twitch, you could even be on the phone. And you'll just out of nowhere get into these deep type of discussions where you're bearing your soul. And because it's in the sign of Aquarius, it's like we're all going to be authentic in the way that we come across. When you have a Mercury conjunct Pluto aspect, it's like when you get on the phone with somebody, like a new boo or a girlfriend or whatever, and it gets so late in the hours of the night, and then you just be staring at the ceiling and you just talking about the deepest shit and how we can improve as the world. That's what's going to be going on during this new moon in Aquarius, because that's the type of energy we're in. That's the type of age we're in. We're looking for solutions and resolutions. And in our conversations with each other, we have revelations. And that's how we create this revolution. Even if it's within our own selves. You know, you look in the mirror around the time of the Aquarius new moon and you say, why am I criticizing myself? Why do I have to feel like I have to fit in a box in society, in my family, in my friend group? Or maybe I'm the one who has said I'm not good enough, who listened to that chatter in your head. It's like these type of conversations will be fruitful in moving forward the collective, just having those hard conversations with each other. Like I remember when I was growing up, I remember those good old programs like Zoom, and then you had Degrassi, but then there were like talk shows like the Ananda Lewis show and things like that, and Oprah, where we as a people could come together no matter what walk of life we were from and discuss some deeper topics and issues. And it's like we don't have those programs anymore. But the good thing about it is that we still have social media, so we can still connect to each other in discussing these type of hard conversations. Because in order for us to elevate as a collective and individually, We have to keep it real with ourselves. We have to be true to ourselves and say, look, you got a problem, and you got a problem because society, but you really have the problem because you don't have to let society to dictate to you who you are, how you should feel about yourself. And while you're over here and you're connecting and you're healing with yourself, you need to get on track with your higher self, all right? So that you can make these plans towards your future, not the future of what your parents wanted, not the future of what your friends said or society said or the collective said or what the media even influences you to do. You get in touch with yourself, your spiritual self, and you say, these are the plans that are going to fuel my desires. These are the plans that are in alignment with my soul and my soul's growth, something that makes me personally feel happy, because Aquarius is authenticity. No matter who it upsets, who it pisses off or makes uncomfortable, we have to get into ourselves. We have to get in alignment with ourselves so that we can plan the future that was probably created before we even came to earth, right? Because we were in contact with our higher selves before we came to this earthly realm. And that's exactly what what this is all about. It's connecting back to who you were before you became a part of the collective. Mars is also retrograde, and it's going to be sextiling the Uranus retrograde. Mars is naturally at its fall in the sign of Cancer. So it's like we want to make these bold moves, but it'll be moves in which we have to move a little bit slower. You know, we just press that slow motion button on the TV so you can watch something in slow motion, a playoff during football. That's how we're going to feel. We're going to feel a little bit delayed. It's like we have the optimism. We want to be innovative. We are motivated to take risks, maybe quit that job, to pop off on that person, to show them how we really feel. We have the potential in the drive now to set ourselves on the path that is uniquely created for us, that we paved ourselves because we did the Mercury-Pluto conjunction work. But it's like we can't jump too soon to where we're making these snap decisions that'll fuck up our future. You know, I just have to be blunt with it. But if we do have these thoughtful processes and we sit on the idea and we take small measured steps, we will get to the goals that you had for yourself individually or that you had as well with the collective. So we have to do these bite-sized action bits. Like I was reading something because I'm not really great at goal setting, and they said you want to make little small goals in order to get to this big change. And that's basically what we're doing with the Mars retrograde in its fall in Cancer, sextiling Uranus retrograde in Taurus. So if you're thinking about creating a home for yourself or money, because that's Cancer and Taurus themes, it'll be best for you to sit down during this time of the new moon and say, what is something that's in alignment with my soul that can make me money? Something that I feel comfortable with, something that not only I feel comfortable with, I'm naturally good at, and that I'll be motivated to do. You know, something that's more in alignment with me. So that's kind of what's going on with the Mars sextile Uranus aspect during this time for both planets that are retrograde. And then we have the ruler of this new moon again making that positive aspect, sextiling Venus in the sign of Pisces. This time, because Venus is exalted in Pisces, it'll be a good thing. Plus Venus is not retrograde. So with Venus sextiling Uranus retrograde, we're having surprise contacts. Maybe you're having a surprise contact with a person that you haven't seen in a while, because Uranus is still retrograde. So you're like, oh, a blast from the past, or you remind me of someone. You're a very random ass person. You're someone that excites me, but for some reason you're familiar. I feel like we're soulmates. You know, I feel like I could collaborate with you, or you're just put in my path in this time to catapult me to the future. Like meeting you was not a coincidence, or if it was a coincidence, a delightful coincidence. So when you go out here and you go in the world and you find those type of connections, you're like, oh my gosh, these are the type of connections that I've always wanted. My soulmates, my tribe. You'll be connecting with people around this time that are in alignment with who you really are, because you made the decision to be authentic. Isn't that great? Now on to the next aspect, and the last aspect at 2 degrees. It's Mars retrograde again in its fall in the sign of Cancer, and it's squaring Chiron, which is became direct last month in the sign of Aries. What does that mean? Well, you have Chiron in Aries, which means that we're facing the pain of ourselves. We're facing what we mean to ourselves, our identity. And when you have Mars retrograde in the sign of Cancer where it's fall, it's like we have to face something about our past. It could be something with our family that is having an impact, a negative impact on us in our identity, because Chiron is in Aries and we're needing to heal our identity. So we're now facing not only the hard conversations that we're going to have with each other and with ourselves, but we're going to take this type of regression to where we look back on our past history, not only our family history, but our own personal history that has to deal with our childhood. It's making us turn inward and face some emotional conflicts that stem from somewhere. Anger and sadness will arise as our wounds get triggered around this time, even if it is with one of those new contacts who you feel should know everything about your life because they're just such your soulmate. Guess what? They don't. They're just on the same vibration as you. But during this time, just be open about it. Just be open about it and say, you know, this triggers me, and you don't want to ruin your new contact with the soulmate that you had in a past life. Don't do that. But you will be revisiting past memories that hurt you. You're going to be wanting to take action on how you could heal yourself, or take action on how you could possibly run away. But it's like, it won't work. You'll feel kind of like trapped and hopeless. But during this time, in order for you to get to another level of your life, in order for the whole collective to get on another level, I'm tongue twisted, on another level in their life, spiritually, therefore physically, and mentally even, you're going to have to face your shadow. You're going to have those hard conversations with yourselves in order for us to get this download. Now on to all signs, all 12 signs for the new moon. Aries, sun, moons, and risings. This Aquarius new moon is going to be happening in your 11th house. What is that? The sector of your social life, your friends, your whatever groups or associates that you are associated with, whatever. It's your social media presence, and it's your dreams and your hopes and your goals as well. So when you have the Aquarius new moon in that section of your life, it's like you want something more out of your dreams and your life and your community and the groups that you belong to. Maybe the group of friends that you have, you no longer align with, or you don't see with you at the finish line in the future. Wah, wah, wah. Wah, wah. Sucks for your friends. And maybe the goals and the dreams that you thought you had, you no longer align with. Or maybe you outgrown those goals because you've already accomplished them. Who knows? Who knows? All I know is that you want to change, and you want to be different in the eyes of your social group or in the eyes of the public. So I don't know if you redoing or renovating your TikTok page or your YouTube channels or your Instagram or something. But you know there needs to be a change in your social area of life. I also want to warn you that during this time, you're going to feel a little bit tired, that your efforts aren't reaping fruit or results. And that's because your ruling planet is retrograde, and it's also in Cancer, which is at its fall astrologically. So don't beat yourself up if you haven't experienced a lot of energy during this time. It's all planetary. It's not you. It's Mars. It's Mars's fault. And I know how you guys like to blame other people for your downfalls, your shortcomings. Taurus is sun, moons, and risings. This Aquarius new moon is taking place in your career sector of your life, and it comes to your public vocation, image, and your reputation. So I see that during this time, with this whole stellium, the sun, the moon, Mercury, and Pluto, I see that you're really going to have this intense focus on where you want to be career-wise, or where you want to be in your life, vocation-wise, or to the world at large. I see that you want to liberate yourself from any other jobs or careers, and you want to get in a career that is more in alignment with you, something that is more authentic to who you are, something that you can see yourself doing. You want to have an extreme makeover, but for your outer coating, your business, your look, your this and all that. And what this means is that you have some hidden talents or some gifts that you want to share that could be more spiritual. You could be in astrology like me. You could like to do meditations with people. You may want to be a accountability coach. It's just something with artistry that you want to do, that you want to monetize. You could be selling paintings, but you want that to be your source of income, because any other job just won't do it. Venus sextiling Uranus retrograde, I see that you're doing something that will be more appeasing to your fans or your following on social media or your friends. So it's like, I'm going to business for them. I'm going to make money, and I'm going to put out material that they'll like, you know, from doing a career or this side hustle that I like, that I want to make into my main hustle so that I could live a freedom lifestyle, because Aquarius is all about freedom. So good luck for you, Taurus, Suns, Moons, and Gemini. Where do you want to be or feel liberation with this new moon, Aquarius? It's your life. It's life in general, because this new moon is taking place in your ninth house of how you view life, your worldview, your faith, publications, and higher educations, as well as courses and things and shit like that. And you want to feel liberation in those areas of life. If you're taking an actual course, you could be going back to school and majoring into something like social media or technology, because this new moon is Aquarius theme. I also see that you are adapting belief systems, possibly moving away from religious systems or beliefs that you grew up in to something more liberating, to something that feels more in alignment with you, more authentic to you. Or you're saying, I'm the one that designs my own beliefs, my own life path, my own this and my own that. And I say to you, you go, Gemini, you go. It's like Geminis, the suns, the moons, and the risings have been on this spiritual walk to find out who they are and what they believe in. And now you're finally putting words and things to it, and everything is coming into form. I also see that you could be wanting to make money off of the many gifts that you have, like your spiritual gifts, or maybe you're writing a new script, or you're writing songs, or you're an artist, or you're a healer, and you're getting more in alignment with those type of things. And with Venus making an easy aspect to Uranus, I see that people will be more open and receptive to what you have to give to the public. What other artwork or what other pieces or things that you have cooked up in your own private area. And we're really anxious to see the product of what you have to give us. I know it'll be innovative, it'll be strange, it'll be different, but it'll be received well to the world at large. My Cancer, suns, moons, and risings. This new moon may be a little bit uncomfortable, but it'll bring you lots of realization, because this stellium, Mercury, Pluto, Sun, and the moon will be in the sector of your life that rules transformation, that rules trauma, that rules shared assets and debts and things like that in your psychology. The Aquarius new moon is saying that you need to renovate that space. You need to renovate or replace, or perhaps not share any bonds with somebody or bonds with people who do not share your same goals, your same dreams, your same passions, and people who, you need to see who trauma dumps on you, and whoever is doing this to you, need to cut them off. Okay, I'm just going to blurt that out there. Now, Mars is in your signs and it's retrograde, so you're going to be feeling a little sluggish when it comes to making these major steps in changing your debt, changing your karmic debt, changing your connections, and cutting the ties to the people who have weighed on you more than anything else. I know you Cancers are movers and shakers and you're ready to get going, but during this time, you really need to pace yourself, allow yourself to heal. I see that you're future oriented and you want to get started on those goals, but you must face your triggers and your wounds around your career, or around how people have perceived you, or how you see yourself. But I do see yourself doing that inner work, and that's what counts. Because when you do that, you no longer have debt, period. My Leo, suns, moons, and risings. This new moon in Aquarius is taking place in your 7th house, as well as the Mercury-Pluto conjunction taking place in your sector of one-on-one relationships and contracts and partnerships and things like that. And what I see is that you want to, you just want a new partner, I think. Or you want a fresh start with a partner, and I see that you're going to be having these deep conversations, and you're like, we need to do something with this relationship. We need to step it up a notch. We need to revive it. We need to feel free within ourselves, to where I'm like, I'm in a partnership with you. I'm in a contract with you, but I'm authentically who I am. You could accept me for who I am or who I'm becoming, and that's going to be the theme for you during this new moon. Now, I do see that Mars is retrograde, and it's sextiling Uranus that's also retrograde, and that's going to be happening in your private life, in that area, in your public life. So expect for things in your private life to be made public. Maybe a disagreement, maybe an argument, so I would watch out for that. Now, Venus is sextiling Uranus retrograde, that's going to impact you when it comes to your career and when it comes to the bonds you share and also where you are psychologically. So yeah, I just see, you know, your business will be out there a little bit, but you will have a bunch of support for you. So good luck to you, Leos. Remember that you can feel freedom within a relationship without breaking up with somebody. But if it's holding you back and you need to liberate yourself, you may want to rethink that relationship, whether that is a friendship, whether that is a spouse, whether that is a business partner. This new moon in Aquarius is going to be taking place. This whole stellium with Mercury conjunct Pluto is going to be taking place in your 6th house. So what does that mean? You want to feel liberated in your everyday experiences. I don't know if you're thinking about getting a new job or you're trying out this new routine. It's like you want to glow up on a daily, in your daily life. And you no longer want to feel restricted. You want to feel liberated. You want to feel that you have a freedom lifestyle. You want to be able to feel that you're actually waking up and you're in this new existence to where everything makes sense and it's designed for you because you are being authentic. You are staying true to yourself in your everyday life, and that's something to be applauded about. And I also see that when you step out into the world as who you are, that you'll be well received. But the thing is that the perfection bug always comes to bite us Virgo, suns, moons, and risings when we are feeling comfortable. So I want to warn you that you will feel triggered around this time when it comes to you socializing in certain spaces with certain people, maybe on the internet as well with these spaces. And you have to remember that some of this stems from the wounds that you have or that you had with your inner child. Like you feel like you're not worthy enough or you don't have enough money to do this, to do that, to go after your dreams, to be in this type of circle, to want this sort of thing. But Virgo, you are worthy. This is Aquarius new moon. You are not to critique yourself. You are to celebrate your eccentricities and go along with it. I see the Aquarius new moon along with a Mercury-Pluto conjunction taking place in your 5th house of romance, of your kids, of your passion products, and of passion projects. Never mind. I see you trying to figure out new and inventive ways in how you are to gear your children towards their futures, or how you're going to go towards your futures with your future endeavors, your passion projects, and your many passions and your boo things. I see that at this time you want to get more in alignment with people who value your authenticity when it comes to how you live your life, how you celebrate yourself, and how you go about your creations. I don't know, it just feels like what you have done in the past is outdated, and it's like you want this new fresh start on how you are to go about your life and how you are to go about your extracurriculars and things like that. It's like I want to be doing hobbies, creating things, making these type of connections with people and with lovers or potential romantic partners. But I want to do it from my own space, my own authenticity, not what other people wanted from me, but what I want for myself. I no longer want to involve myself in relationships that harm me. I want to go towards the future. I want to make a name for myself. Okay, that's what it is. It's like you're doing the healing, you're doing the inner work, but you also want to have a time to where you can just sit back and you can just chill with people who you can see as your long terms. In the case of people who you see yourselves with in the future. And might I add, some of you guys may be dating a friend, or you may have a friend set you up on a date, or you may have a friend, if you have children, gear your children towards something that involves technology and involves their education or some type of tutoring. And I think you get the point that whatever you do in your fun time, your extracurriculars, it has an effect on your public image or how you're seen to the world. So you're like, if I want to be seen to the world as someone who hangs around these type of Aquarius stellium, this Aquarius new moon is going to be happening in your 4th house, okay? I don't know what's going on in your private life emotionally or with your family, but it's like you're having this eureka moment, like these people are really holding me back. These people do not want to be free from their own demons, or they don't want to be free from their own trauma, and you're not going to take it. I'm not taking it with me. Ugh, that's what I meant. And I'm seeing that during this time, that if people are not on the same wavelength as you, wants to do the same healing as you, put in the same work as you when it comes to your private relationships and your contacts and your family, you're just like deuces. Because I have to liberate myself. I need to feel freedom, and I need to feel that I'm operating out of my own authenticity and not be weighed down by everybody else's emotions. Now, Mars is going to be retrograde, and it's going to be sextiling Uranus that's also retrograde. That's going to be affecting you in the areas of higher learning, in the areas of travel, of faith, in your relationships. So it's like trying to bring your relationships, like your one-on-ones, you're trying to liberate them, and you're trying to get them, your partner, to learn something or your friend to learn something, but it's truly up to them whether they want to progress in their life or elevate in their life or grow as a person. It's, you know, you can bring a horse to water, but you know that phrase, you can't make them drink. And I see that during this time, the best way to liberate yourself, Scorpio, suns, moons, and risings, is emotionally and in private. Sagittarius, the Aquarius new moon, the stellium, the sun, the moon, Mercury, and Pluto is taking place in your area of life. That is your third house. That is your immediate surroundings, your relationship with your siblings, and it's also your mindset. And what I see for all my Sagittarius suns, moons, and risings is that you want to feel liberated. You're working on how your mind works. You want to reroute your brain to garner you towards the future. You don't want to be stuck living the past. I see that for some of you, you could be taking up some type of online courses, maybe learning something new with technology. You want to be well versed in your community as well. But I also see that you're really working on how to liberate yourself from mental challenges or where you feel like you could be mentally restricted. I also see that you want to make new friends around your community. I don't know if you moved. Maybe you're thinking about moving. Who knows? Who knows? To a more developed area. Now, Mars is sextiling Uranus, and they're both retrograde, and it's happening in your house of intimacy in your daily life. So I see that you are motivated to heal yourself. I see that during this time, you have no choice but to heal yourself. And that's really good because everything is about healing and renewing for you, my Sagittarius. Venus is going to be sextiling Uranus retrograde. So you will be seeing a lot of attention and love from home. And although your daily life may be out of sync and you're trying to make sense of it all, it will make sense for you. So good luck to you, my Sagittarius sun, Capricorn, suns, moons, and risings. This new moon in Aquarius has you pointed to your finances. And it also has it's pointing to your self-worth, because Mercury conjunct Pluto is saying having these hard conversations on why you feel that you deserve this little or this much or something like that. It's something you have to get in tune with your values. Okay, so I don't know what's going on with you in your public or your private life to where you feel like you're accepting something that is beneath you, or you have to do certain things in order for you to get money. But you're really going to be having this eureka moment and these hard conversations with yourself to show you that there are different avenues for you to obtain such materials, because Capricorn loves their materials, and their materials represent stability as well as for other earth signs. This Aquarius new moon is radicalizing what your values are, or what you hold dear, or what are your new sets of beliefs about yourself. Or what are the new ways in which you are going to create money? Are you going to put up a website? Are you going to have clients and you're going to FaceTime them? Are you going to use your knowledge of astrology to catapult you to make more money? Turn that side hustle into a main hustle. What are you doing, Capricorns? Or are you going to be on television? I do see that Uranus is in your fifth house of your extracurriculars, of children, of fun things like that. And it's just turned your life upside down, and it's turned your relationships upside down. And now you're kind of like in this space where it's like, I don't even know who I am anymore because of this big change. Some of you Capricorns could have become parents, or you could have taken on this big project, or just something unexpected happens to where you have to face yourself and see what it is exactly that you value about other people. But most importantly, what you value about yourself, and liberating yourself from being viewed by certain people as being this valuable, less valuable, all that other jazz. I could say that at this time, it's like cosmically, you've got a blank checkbook, and you get to write the amount of how much you make or how much you're worth. That's going to be the theme for you, my Capricorn suns, moons, and risings. And I want you guys to really dig deep and in real detail. How do you see yourself in the future? What are the values that you will hold for your future self, and adapt those type of things? And then I'll get back to you. Pisces. This Aquarius new moon is taking place in your 12th house. That's your house of subconscious meditation, artistry in private, as well as secret enemies. During this time, I see that you could be seeing yourself as a secret enemy, or when you isolate yourself, you see the things that haven't been serving you. So when you go into your private sector during this Aquarius new moon, you'll be able to be innovative. You'll be able to get these ideas, the eureka moments, to experience freedom because you have isolated yourself. And so now you're more able to put your hands on things and grasp certain things, get in touch with reality, but most importantly, get in touch with visualizing the future that you would love to have for you and yourself. Mercury conjunct Pluto in the 12th house shows that you'll be healing a lot, especially mentally, in private during this time, which is going to help elevate you to experience this type of freedom, but not only physical freedom, but spiritual freedom for you, my Pisces suns, moons, and rising. Because when you free yourself spiritually, then you're able to free yourself mentally because you've done that inner work in here. So then it goes to your mind, and then it goes out to your physical reality, to where you're manifesting things that you've only hoped for in the present that you will experience in your future. So good luck.
Let me tell you something. You don't own no streets.